Hello everyone, we are the Decision Maker magazine and today we are conducting an interview with the founder of Severat, Miss Rohini Gonsalves. Okay, first of all, good morning to all of you or all my viewers. And first of all, I would like to thank you to give your precious time to us, to our podcast. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Please tell me.
Yeah, so ma'am, just start our interview and please tell us about something yourself and your foundation.
As you know, I am the founder of Sevarat Healthcare and Nursing Private Limited. We are a senior care service, which is we provide home healthcare services for senior citizens. And currently, we are functional in Goa. This is a private limited company, which is a for-profit organization. We started in the year 2015, but in 2022, we also realized the need to have a charity organization, which is when we created Sevarat Foundation. This is the charity organization, which is an NGO and it is a trust. So that is focused on delivering programs which enhance the lives of senior citizens, not necessarily in the healthcare domain, but it's generally in the wellness and happiness domain, if I can call it that.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. It's very good. Like it's very nice to hear. Yeah. What was your dream as a business lady or as a foundation co-owner?
Um, actually, I never ever had a dream to start this. If it is just accidental, I'm an accidental entrepreneur, if I can call it that. And everything that has happened in the course of things. So I can't quite see it that it was my dream to be an entrepreneur. Actually, I always wanted to be in a safe, secure job environment, and that is the only future I fathomed for myself. I cannot even understand how I ended up becoming an entrepreneur. So I'm just here by chance. I think it's just a calling that I've answered, and here I am.
Ma'am, if you are comfortable, so could you tell us the accident that you are being like that, being a Sevarat co-founder or a founder?
Yeah, so I'm the only founder. We are a single person organization for that matter. Um, so I've said this several times. I'm saying this again. So I was working in a demanding career, and around that time, I had taken a little break because I think I was a little emotionally, mentally worn out. You just get burnt out. So I was burnt out, and I was on this sabbatical. Incidentally, around that time, I was in Goa, and that's when my mother was unwell, and because of some incorrect diagnosis at that time, she went through a long duration of being sick and in and out of hospitals. During this time, I was available to look after her, which was fortunate. I mean, it was just destined that way, perhaps. But I kept wondering, what if I was working? I would never be able to give my mom this kind of time and attention. And then I started wondering that sooner or later, maybe we will get there, where we are all engaged in our own careers, etc. And we would not be able to give her the time. So I already started looking out for, agencies which would have healthcare workers come home and look after my mom. And when I saw that, I realized that there is no decent option available. I Given where we come from, we want our parents to be in the best hands, and we want them to be professional people looking after them in the most gentle and respectful and dedicated way. um, I didn't see any options available, and I was like, then I started looking at the whole thing, the whole, so to say, potential of this business, and I realized that, boy, this is a huge area which is completely underserved. So I said, chalo, let's start. And then one thing led to the other, and that's where we are. So it came from personal experience.
Yeah, that is very good story. Like that is very inspirational for everyone. Yeah. So, ma'am, what is your greatest professional accomplishment till date?
I have been mightily blessed, if I may call it that. Every year we have received several awards. But I think clearly the biggest accomplishment was when we created a world record with the largest number of senior citizens performing a Goan folk dance. And this happened on the 21st of August in 2022. It was World Senior Citizens Day, and we had organized this event. There were a lot more people who had registered, but we were still the largest gathering of senior citizens who performed this Goan folk dance. And more than the award, the very look of fulfillment, the jubilation on the faces of those people, the way they literally jumped like teenagers when that when the jury announced that it was a world record. You should have seen the happiness on the faces of those people. That was clearly the most fulfilling moment of my life so far.
Yeah, ma'am. That is very good. Yeah. So, like, ma'am, have you ever failed in your initiatives, or what have you learned from your failures?
You won't believe me, but Yukti, every single day we fail, and every single day we fall. The only thing as an entrepreneur, I think, is to get up and start all over again. So, if you're asking me about failures, I would have to write volumes and volumes and volumes. So, every day there's something new that comes up.
Yeah, ma'am. Because we will learn from our failures. Yeah.
Yes, and failures are in abundance.
Good. Okay. Which type of idea do you have regarding running a foundation?
Well, I think when it comes to running the foundation, the most important thing is to be able to contribute. Whether it's the organization, which is the company, or the foundation, I think primarily the only thing that drives me, and I think that is the only thing that should drive all organizations, is the is meeting that need. To be able to fulfill what we are here to do. If we fail to serve our customers in just the right way, I think it's just a failure of the venture itself. So anything that we started with an objective in order to serve a certain segment, right? So if we fail to do that, I think it just defeats the purpose of our existence.
Okay, understood, ma'am. Yeah.
Does that answer you?
Yeah. So, ma'am, how many hours do you work?
So entrepreneurship is clearly a 24/7, 365 and plus. If you had another hour or another day, you would just work. Because you don't follow a schedule. So it also has this joy of being very flexible, particularly for me, at least for me, I have had the privilege of having a very flexible schedule. So I think that is the joy of it, that I can quite take a day off if I want to. I don't have to worry too much because we are any which ways run by systems. We are not a people dependent organization. I mean, at least not dependent on me. So my existence doesn't matter to my organization, whether I am or I am not. The work just goes on because we're system driven. But having said that, as an entrepreneur, I think you're constantly striving to take the organization to the next level and do so many other things, network, meet people, and a whole lot of other stuff. I don't think there's a break from that, but it does have a lot of flexibility at the same time, at least for me.
Yeah, ma'am. That is a benefit of a owner.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. What is the best decision you ever made?
Like as many mistakes as we make, we also do some brilliant stuff. Um, I can't quite say there was a certain decision, but uh, see, more than the decision, I think the values that we are driven by. I am very particular that whatever decision we take is inside of that framework of values that we have laid for ourselves. So that makes it very easy. So there are times when you just, because there's a need of the business sometimes, you just pushed to take a certain decision. But then for us, I think the joy of running this organization for me has been that I've always been able to position all our decisions inside of that framework of my value system. So, yeah, I think just that is very fulfilling.
Yeah. So, ma'am, what effective strategies you have taken to achieve your success?
So we are basically a people-driven organization. I mean, while many organizations say this, for us there is no other way because all of our delivery is done by human beings. So we are completely a people-driven organization. Every action that we take in our organization is driven in order to make sure that our employees have a good experience of life, that we are giving them value while they are working with us, that it is a good, safe, family environment for them to work with. And also that, we are instilling in them those values that our organization is driven by. A lot of people come from different parts of this country. They come from different cultural backgrounds, and different value systems also. So for us to get them up to date with what we think and the way we want to run this business, the way we expect them to work, I think all of our systems are inside of that. We always strive to make sure that our people are our first priority. So also our customers, because they are in the most delicate stage of their lives. So we make sure that we don't compromise on their experience at any point in time. So serving them with a lot of dignity, love, and compassion is primary to our organization.
That is very nice to you, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, ma'am. How do you define success? What is your take on the ways to achieve long-term success?
Oh, success is very subjective. I don't know how to define it, but I think when you look at your life and you just feel like you have spent the years that you have spent in this on this earth in this lifetime, if you have spent it making a difference somewhere, I think that is good enough. But also this the tangible success, the financial success is also very important. A whole lot of your respect is garnered from the way you are living your life, the quality of the life you live, the car you drive. A whole lot of respect is also driven from that. So I think it has to be a balance between the material success and this success in terms of fulfillment and satisfaction that we derive. So that perfect balance sometimes may be difficult to find, because in businesses like ours we have a whole lot of fulfillment and a whole lot of satisfaction. But I wouldn't say the same about the material benefits of being in this business. There might not be so much money that we are making. We're not talking of millions of dollars, here, like other people are talking. And at the same time, the fulfillment is in the fact that, we made a difference to people's lives. We've added value to the way they live. So I think that can also be considered as success.
Please tell us about your future plans. Like, what are you going this in future?
Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, growth, of course, is the first and primary objective, is to be able to take our organization Sevarat to other parts of this country, maybe to the whole world, because this is a pressing need across the globe. And there's a dearth of organizations which are professional, reliable, and can give you the kind of care that we do, and are driven by the right attitude and right values. Again, I think the only thing that sets us apart is our values. I keep saying this ever so often, but that is clearly the thing that drives us apart. Uh, um, that is primary. The other thing is also, as a part of the foundation, there are so many things. So we have a certain segment of the market that we serve as a part of our for-profit organization, which is our company. But there is a whole mass of people, of elderly people, who belong to the lower financial strata, lower economic strata, like the people who are actually very poor, and they cannot make ends meet. And they are so poor now that they can't afford basic health care. They cannot afford to even, I mean, nobody cares about them much. There's some government initiatives, of course, but other than that, in terms of engagement, in terms of keeping them happy, nobody's quite concerned. So we want to contribute in that area, and really reach out to those people and tell them that we value their lives. We want to make them feel cared for. We want them to have a great experience of these last years of their lives. So that is very important to us.
That is good, ma'am. That is very nice to hear you. Yeah. Who has been your greatest inspiration?
Um, I think the way you are raised, so your parents invariably are your inspiration. My father and my mother are my inspiration. I've seen how they've led their lives, and I think I'm completely aligned to their way of the values that they lived by and how they lived their lives. So I think I'm greatly inspired by who my parents have been. Other than that, I think in the world out there, I think Gandhiji and Mother Teresa, big time. I think the way they lived their lives, the values that they propagated, what they've spread in the world, and the remarkable difference that they've made, lasting impact. I mean, they're long gone, but look at the impact that they have. I think that is a very big inspiration for me.
Okay, yeah. Whom do you attribute your success to?
I think the people that we've had, from the first employee we've hired till every last person who's come and worked in our organization, we just wouldn't be here, right, without them, because I don't go and serve the end user. My staff does, and the fact that they have brought themselves to deliver what we are saying. I'm sitting in my at my desk in my office and I'm making these tall claims, but who's delivering it at the end of the day are my employees, and without them, I certainly don't think we would be here. So it's clearly my employees, nobody else.
That's good. That is very good. Yeah. Do you think your personal life is affected by your professional life? If it is yes, so how?
Um, I haven't quite been able to make a distinction between what is my personal life, what is my professional life. This is my life, and the whole of my life is affected by the work that I do. If you're asking me about an impact in the sense that, yeah, sometimes, like, you can't do. Um, how do I say this? I'll give you an example. Maybe that will help you understand. So there was a day when I prefer every time wherever I go, like as a mandate, it's a rule for me that wherever I go, I make sure I'm the one who's driving so that I can venture out of there if there is an emergency. So I am always prepared for the worst case scenario. So in my house, my car key, my wallet, everything is kept in a way that at the snap of a finger, I am out. I'm in my car and I'm already driving. So it won't take me 10 minutes from the time I've received a call to be on the road. It's just about that much time that I think I'm always on an emergency mode. But one of those days we just went out for a musical show, and because we were carpooling for the first time and the only time perhaps I've given myself the liberty, I was carpooling with somebody, and then one of our customers passed away, and it was 8:30 in the night, and a whole lot of things needed to be organized, and the helplessness that you feel, and then you disrupt a whole plan for the other people. Otherwise, I just escaped from that place quietly without rattling anybody else's plans. But when you have to do things like that, then I think you become a social misfit in a way. So those things, I think, yes, but then that's a small price to pay. I don't think it's a major thing, really, Yukti. It's just a way of life, the kind of work that I've chosen to do for myself. Yeah.
Ma'am, it seems you are very passionate about your work or your foundation. Yeah.
Yes, yes. This is what drives me really.
What do you think is the biggest challenge to female leadership?
Biggest challenge to female leadership?
Yes, ma'am. What is the like challenge?
I think there are several challenges. And the first thing is the way we perceive ourselves. We are so conditioned to being the weaker sex that we just about don't have, a whole lot of us are so full of self doubt, and we're constantly second guessing ourselves. You have no idea how many times I call up people and say, do you think I'm really capable of taking this organization to the next level? And I don't think a guy would do that. And I know that a guy perhaps wouldn't do that. In fact, they would be full of confidence that मैं तो कर लूंगा. But a
Yes.
woman as I am, I think
Yeah.
we are constantly full of self-doubt. I think that's an inherent trait of women. Out there in the world, I think to a large extent people discount the work that you do. I mean, of course, there's a wave of transformation that's happening, and god willing, there's never been a better time for women to exist in this country. I firmly believe that we are just there, and the world is changing for us, and so many doors are being opened for us. A whole lot of comfort has come through, but trust me, when I started off, this is almost 10 years back, people, when I walked into any place, they actually thought I was some. When I called myself an entrepreneur, they thought I was some achar papad making. And no, I'm not condescending those things. But what I'm trying to say is that they don't even get that you have an idea. I know of a startup which is into some kick-ass technology, and because it's a woman founder, I see that people don't even acknowledge the fact that she could be she could be a geek, she's a tech geek really, but then because she's a woman and she's an entrepreneur, they're like, what is your business, in a very in a very thanda way. So I think that is the challenge, that people don't quite they're not kicked about, oh, what is the idea that this woman has. They just say, oh, what is the next achar papad you're making, that kind of a thing. Or maybe you're into fabric, or just not, you're not just into some serious business that they would reckon with. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah, understood, ma'am. And the last question or the least question I have that, ma'am, if someone wants to reach you, so how can they?
I am a very open person. I'm available on all social media. Though it's not about. They can access me on LinkedIn. I'm available on Instagram, and we have a website. So my numbers are all over the place. I'm absolutely accessible. They can get in touch with me anytime. And my email ID is rohini@sevarat.com, so they can just write to me anytime.
Yeah. So the last question is, tell us about your experience with us, with the Decision Maker magazine.
You have been the face of the decision maker for me,
Wow.
and from ever since I've started interacting with you, and I know for how long you've been pursuing this with me, and I have been in the middle of so many things and transitioning between a few things that were happening, and I know how many times I've declined coming on this conversation with you, but I'm just happy that you persisted, and I'm glad that I was able to come and have this conversation with you, Yukti. So thank you for putting up with me, really.
Thank you
It's
so
been a
much.
wonderful
It's my
experience. So
pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for that's it. That's the interview. And thank you for giving your the precious time for us. Thank you so much.
thank you, Yukti. It's been a delight. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.
That is our interview. That is most inspiration women I have ever met who started their journey with the zero, and then what she finds and what she get after that struggling era of their life. So if you also want to get featured in our podcast or video interview, so please email us on rajiv@decisionmaker.in. If you like that video, to please do subscribe, comment, and also share. Thank you.